Welcome back to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me. Today's video is going to be very stream of consciousness. It's going to be very podcast-esque. I just want to talk about some things that have been on my mind. I've been putting this video off for a little bit. I may have missed the story completely. I realize that on the internet, things come and they go, and stories appear, they disappear. But I do think this is important, not only as it relates to the specific story, but as it relates to gambling Twitter, to the state of sports betting and discords and touts and pick sellings and ultimately scamming as a whole. So I want to walk through the timeline of what is occurring with this account, Mood for Bets, otherwise known as, So I actually saw this tweet, and it was about a week ago. And it was Perdomo to hit a home run and Juan Soto to hit 2 home runs. $50 wager on that. First of all, you want to talk about bad bankroll management. Either bad bankroll management or this guy's unit size is astronomical. He has an infinite bankroll. If he's putting a $50 wager on a same game parlay of essentially 3 home runs at 530 to 1 rather. And it paid $26,000. And I actually screenshot this and sent it to a buddy of mine. And I said, how do people do this? Like what possesses somebody to spend $50 on such a ridiculous ticket? I mean, Perdomo was probably one of the longest odds in that game, probably 12 to 14 to 1. And Juan Soto to hit 2 home runs? What are we doing? You know, I just said, I can't even hit straights. Here I am trying to be transparent and grind these straights out and find value, and I'm struggling to do that. And we got this guy smoking the books at insane clips. And so we kind of just had a quick conversation about it, and I didn't think much of it until about 2 days later. This was on May 2nd. Spinfluencer. He is an account on Twitter that calls out some of the bad actors on gambling Twitter and has a list of accounts that tout and scam and just are not bringing the value that maybe they think they're bringing to the ecosystem. And he said, Mood for Bets is claiming to hit insane lottos on a regular basis. What the Dub Club scammer fails to realize is FanDuel adds the total wager amount into the one on FanDuel payout. If this slip was real, the one on FanDuel amount would be $10,800. That's an awful way to say $10,800. I apologize. So what this guy did ultimately is told on himself. He placed a wager, or I guess rather he did not place a wager. He faked a wager of Chris Dunn first basket, and he forgot to add in this total stake. If he would have actually placed this bet, like Spinfluencer is saying, this $1,800 total wager would have been added onto this, and it would have been $10,800. In other words, all this to say, summary, this guy is faking it. Which brings up my first point. These fake slips are incredibly realistic. I mean, it even has a bet ID down here, placed at the time of placement. It's got the back stamp, the watermark even of FanDuel. I mean, this looks like a FanDuel ticket, period. There's nothing on this. I mean, there have been times where scammers have done something and people have noticed inconsistencies in how it looks. The only inconsistency here is that this Mood for Bets guy just was careless in how much his bet was actually worth, how much it actually paid out, and which begs the question, is this ticket real? No, it can't be real. I mean, if this guy has a track record of faking one slip, he's going to fake, I would imagine, all of his slips. There's no way that this is a legitimate ticket. There's no way that this is a legitimate ticket. And I am thankful that Spinfluencer called him out. And another thing, 500 plus 500 for Chris Dunn first basket. Chris Dunn doesn't score 2 points in the game usually. And you're getting him first basket at 5 to 1. So I don't know what you want to call this besides just lazy scamming. And of course, he is on Dub Club, which is a pick selling service. And this brings up my second point, that these dub clubs, SoBets, sharp duels, these sort of middleman for pick sellers, I think they should have, let me say this, I think they should have a moral obligation to accounting for who they're platforming. I get that these middlemen, sharp duel, dub club, SoBet, all they are trying to do is profit. They aren't trying to make sure that the buyer of picks, the average bettor, is supported or is, entering into a safe, if you can call pick selling stuff. Like they don't care about you and I, will say, even though you and I shouldn't be buying picks, and you probably aren't. If you're watching this, you probably don't agree with pick selling and pick buying anyway. But I think some do it better than others. I do have experience with SoBet, and I know that they force people to track plays, and so something like this would never exist because you can't track a bet after the fact. You have to have it before. So again, I do think there are things that are done more correctly, but at the end of the day, like, this bettor was allowed onto a platform, and all he does on Twitter, that's not accounted for by Dub Club. This was brought to the attention of Dub Club through Spinfluencer, and had that not been the case, how long would this gentleman or lady have been able to scam, been able to lie, been able to say, hey, we hit this, I'm going to give you these fake picks because you're paying me. If they hit, great. If they don't, who cares? Because I already have your money. And so that was kind of the second thing. Now, the funniest part, and I mean like head-scratchingly funny, like unbelievably funny, the day after he got called out. Like, this was a big deal. I mean, this got 44 retweets. There was tons of interaction. Big names were quoting it and talking about it. Like, he saw that he got called out. What did he do the next day? He came back. And he came back worse than ever. He doubled down in probably the worst way imaginable. He tweets this: the Machado man does it again. And I caught this one because this is egregious. Like, this is pathetic. This is putrid. This is inexcusable, even for a scammer, to make this mistake. A 650 and a 390 is 35-1 fair value. It's not 10-20. Did he add them together? If he added them together, he still did a poor job, because it still wouldn't equal 10-20. But I looked at this and I said, wait a second, did he actually hit a bet this time? And I looked at the money and I said, okay, it looks like he added it in. Wait a second, the odds, 10-20 for a 650 and a 390? No. What? So what this tells me, one, is that he doesn't care that he's being called out, and two, he understands that he still can be careless and still can convert subscribers, still can convert people to pay for his picks. I mean, this is grossly wrong. This is grossly inaccurate. And here we are yet again. I mean, look at this slip, though. I mean, even he screenshots it live or creates it live. I don't know how he does it. I mean, back in my day, we were right-clicking on inspect element and changing things. This looks deeper than an inspect element situation. I'm not going to pretend I understand how he's doing it, but it's astonishing that he has the ability to fake a slip this well, but can't do the simple part, which is make the parlay pay out. And part of me didn't even want to call him out. Because you call a guy out for his inconsistencies, what's he going to do? He's going to change his inconsistencies. He's going to get better, and then he's going to scam more people. Because if this is actually paying out the correct amount, it's flawless. It's a flawless ticket. He scratches out the bet ID. He has the time place. He has everything. I mean, this is the in-game live result of the situation. Like, this is, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's not doing it well. So then what happens? After I called him out, he either blocks me or his account got taken down. I don't know which. So then he created another account under a different handle, Quiet Odds. Not so quiet, very loud, actually, very loudly incorrect. But he has blocked me, so I cannot engage with him anymore. But this again just shows that these scammers are out there and they're getting good. Like, this is good. Like, this is good scamming. Besides the careless error, the obvious error, and I want to say obvious to people like maybe you and me who understand that it's obvious. But even if I see this, right, I'm not going to take the time. And it's also interesting. This is an interesting psychological point. I think, yes, there is something about picking big money wagers as it relates to the human psychology of, wow, this guy's winning 9,000. I have to hop on board, right? Oh, this guy has a lot of money. He must be a profitable sports bettor. He's betting 1,800 on first basket. I have to hop on board. But it also makes the math more difficult. If it's a $10 wager, right? Like, psychologically, we are able to process how much it should pay. It should pay out 60, right? But when it's 1,800, like, if I'm just scrolling Twitter, I'm not going to stop and do the math. I'm not going to call him out. This is more obvious, the fact that Chris Dunn is 5-1 to score the first basket. But even on this, right, if this wasn't so egregiously off, I may not have noticed it. And so again, I think there's something to be said about his total wager, his fake total wager, being so high. One, psychologically, it makes the unsuspecting consumer think, oh, wow, this guy's got money. This guy's got the bread. Mood for bread. Mood for scams is what this is. And it tricks us. So what's the bottom line? I don't think I'm going to tell you guys anything you don't know. I don't think I'm going to do anything but preach to the choir here and just say that if you are going to pay for picks, join a dub club, join a Discord, you had better understand what you're getting yourself into. And if you are tempted to join because somebody is hitting a home run parlay, one, you should maybe ask yourself if that's the best thing to do. And two, if you really think it is, if you really think they have an edge that's sustainable, an edge that will not be patched, because as we know, if you have an edge, a true edge, you are likely to lose that edge much faster if more people are putting their money on it. Just do your research, be careful, and ultimately don't settle for, especially, buying through these middlemen of Dub Club and these pick selling services. I want to speak about two more things. The first is that I do think there's value specifically in some Discords and some communities. I think there is things to learn about being a wise bettor and improving your craft as it relates to sports betting. And some communities offer that. But I think that is offered outside of just, here's a pick. Right, spoon feeding. Teach a fish to man, and he eats for a day. Fish a man to feed, and he eats for a lifetime, as is quoted by me today. The point is, if you can join a group that teaches you how to bet and think about betting, you're better off spending money on that than you are spending money on a guy to hand feed you a Matt Chapman, Manny Machado ticket. That doesn't ultimately exist. So just, again, if you're going to engage with the community, I would recommend making sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is a proven bettor. And it's a catch-22, because oftentimes the proven bettors are not out here touting. There are a lot of plus EV accounts who play promos, who take plus EV bets, that have Discords, and you're going to get limited faster. Your accounts are going to get cooked, as they say. It's a catch-22. Either you join a good group and you lose your accounts and plays die quickly because so many people are on them and there was value to be had, or you're joining something and you're wasting money. You're paying extra vig for something that doesn't pay out in the long run. So again, the best thing I can tell you is just figure it out on your own. Get in with people who understand what they're doing and learn. And, ultimately, I think maybe the best thing I can give the majority of people watching this is think about sports betting as an expense in your budget for recreation, for fun, because I think it takes a certain special person with a certain special set of willpower and emotional regulation, as well as ability to get accounts in order to be a long-term profitable professional sports bettor. And, a lot of people want to do that. And I just think we are at a point with rec books in an ecosystem where that is getting harder and harder to do. And I would have called myself a professional sports bettor for 2 and 3 years when books were slow. And it's at a point now where if I'm trying to originate, I don't have what it takes to be a professional sports bettor. And, I can look at an odds screen and bet top down. And if that makes me a professional sports bettor, then sure. But my accounts, I don't have them anymore because of this sort of, repetition and hitting books, soft books for soft lines. So, I am transitioning into trying to be informative and create content as it relates to sports betting and help inform the public and maybe the unassuming public who could have potentially fallen for something like this. So, I try to tell my followers that there's still room to be sharp and to be responsible, but also to have a little fun. To be degen, isn't always a curse if done responsibly. I'm too sharp for the degens, and I'm too EV what do I say? I'm too sharp for the degens and I'm too degen for the sharps, right? I find myself in this middle, and so that's what Green Bean School is about. If this happens to be your first video and you've lasted for 14 minutes of me speaking about 1.5 times the rate of a normal human, if you're listening in 2 times speed, I'm sorry. I must be yapping those lips. The last thing I do want to discuss is just this principle of victory lapping on Twitter. This may be its own standalone video, and I know I'm in the minority here, but I think that is actually one of the most unspoken about dangerous habits of gambling Twitter, is the idea that you win a bet and you brag about it online. You can call me soft, you can call me a killjoy, you can call me envious even. And I think to some degree that is it. And I think sometimes envy and jealousy and seeing a winning bet leads to poor bankroll management. It leads to chasing. It leads to somebody saying, wow, this guy hit Matt Chapman and Manny Machado. What 2-leg parlay can I hit today? Can I outdo this? Wow, he's betting 500. Typically I bet 5. Wow, no longer does 5 seem like a good enough bet. Let me bet 10. I don't agree. And again, I am probably far on this one side of things. I live by the principle of, unless you share before, you do not share after. If I come out and say, hey, I'm betting Matt Chapman and Manny Machado, and I'm posting it on my page, and I'm saying this well before the game starts, this is what I like. And then after it hits, if I reshare it and say, hey, I put it out there for free, follow me, guys, right? Like, I don't win every bet, but I'm trying to be transparent. I'm trying to be honest. I'm okay with that. If you share before, you can share after. If you don't share before, don't share after, right? Because what does that do? One, it creates a psychological jealousy, envy, greed, a need to bet for people. And you could say, well, people don't have control of their own emotions and their own bankrolls, and that's on them. Yeah, fair. I agree. But I do think it's a net negative for this space. And number 2, it's used as advertising. All it is. People can post 16 plays to a Discord a day. They hit one, they go to Twitter. They don't say, hey, we went 1 in 15 on our plays today. This is the one that won. We're actually only up 0.1 units because we lost all the other ones. But we hit this moonshot. Here it is, guys. Check it out. Come join our Discord. We hit these every day, all the time. And I even see EV guys do this. And I get it. It's marketing. It's advertising. In order to get signups, you have to advertise. And to advertise, you have to post winning slips. Create FOMO. Create this sense of you're not winning on your own. You can win with us. And I don't like it. I think it is, if I could change one thing about gambling Twitter, it would be victory lapping slips that are not posted prior. And again, call me a killjoy, call me whatever you want. But I do think it adds nothing to the community. It adds zero value to the community. It creates FOMO. It creates envy. It creates jealousy. And it creates just this arrogance that is ultimately not good for the ecosystem. So those are my thoughts on this guy, Mood for Bets, otherwise known as Quiet Odds, about the situation as a whole and how easy it's becoming for scammers to get away with things, and how hard it is to call them out, because of their tactics and because of how legit this looks. And just some ideas about gambling Twitter as a whole and the things that are up against the casual bettor who's looking to make $1 out of 15 cents. So appreciate you guys coming by. I love you guys. If this is your first video, again, we're closing in on 9,000 subscribers, which feels pretty darn good. And like I said, my gambling days, my betting days are not what they used to be. I am not in the situation where I can get accounts by whatever means. We can leave that unspoken about. And so I'm trying to transition, and I'm trying to make money by doing things in this ecosystem, but doing it in a way that I think is more honorable or more integrity, doing things that don't ultimately hurt those of us who are like each other, who are all in it for the same thing. So if you don't mind following, you will get some videos like this from time to time. We do talk sports. We do talk sports betting. So I appreciate you. I'm going to go eat some lunch, and we will see you very soon.